Hello guys and welcome to our first project video for HTML. Now before I even get started talking about what this project is about, I have some very important announcements about how I'm going to be running these project videos. Okay, so I'm going to be a bit different. If you've ever seen anyone do tutorials in HTML, you've probably seen them type, right? Type while they're teaching you. Well, what I like to do is I like to already finish parts of my code, right? Like finish, like there's checkpoints, right? Like this will probably have 3 checkpoints. Each checkpoint, all the code will already be done. I'm gonna go over what each part does that I've already typed out, right? Um, and the important thing is that you can copy it, right? I'm even giving you the source code. You can literally go and copy it. But my main issue is that I really want you guys to understand what it is that I'm doing, which is why I'm making an entire video about this. I want you to understand each and everything I'm doing so that you can create it on your own without our help. And of course, the reason why we're running these workshops is to help you if you need help. But let's say you want to work on something at home, or let's say like in 2 or 3 years, you are still relying on us. That doesn't make sense. So it's very important that you understand what I'm trying to teach you and not just copying it to make an amazing website, right? And remember, plagiarism will get you nowhere. It's important to understand what you're doing. I think I've repeated that 5 times right now. So yeah, sorry for that somber mood. Now let's get on to the fun stuff. This project will be about your top 3 favorite whatever. I'm gonna do it about my top 3 favorite games. You could do it about your top 3 favorite candy, cars, books, whatever you want. Go crazy. You can even do more than 3. You could do 10, and that would be a sight to see. I'd love to read that. But yeah, let's get started with this. Okay, so right now we're at our first checkpoint. One thing that I want to just say is that we're also going to go over the style.css. So when you're going over the source code, make sure you also look at that as well. Right now we have nothing in there. Okay, that's going to be our second checkpoint. Okay, first thing that I want to say is that your title is the thing that's up here, like top 3 games. Make sure you say like top 3 whatever it is, or have a good title. It's decently important to have a good title. You don't want like a blank title right here, if you get what I'm saying. Okay, next, our header. Every good website has a header. Now, this isn't the actual correct way or the professional way to make a header, but this is the basis of a header. You're going to need like each one, almost always, and then a subtitle like this. My subtitle is my own name by Kaf Jilani, but you could do whatever subtitle you want to. You don't even need it, but it's good to have it. You have to decide yourself. That's what HTML is. It's about designing. I'm just telling you how to do these things. Okay? Now, this BR is basically putting a space right here, right? If you didn't have this BR, let's see what happens. Oh, sorry. Don't want to do that. Okay, let's try now. As you can see, there isn't a space anymore. Now, there's more efficient ways to put spaces, which I'll teach you about later on. But even after you learn that, a break tag can be really simple yet very powerful and efficient. Okay? Now, our first topic is gonna follow a certain format, right? It's gonna just have this, and all you're gonna have to do is copy paste it as many times as you want for as many top 3s you're gonna have. Oh yeah, let me write this 3 like that because it's a top 3, right? This is my 3rd favorite game. Okay. Let's go over what this does. Okay, H2, which is, remember, another form of header. There's H1, H2, H3, all the way till H6. You can experiment with them to see which one's better. I like using an H2 here because I don't want it to be the same size as the H3, but I don't want it to be as big as the title. It's like a subtitle, as it says right here. Now this image src, the reason why there's nothing there is because I'm not gonna really put anything there. I'm gonna let you put something there. Or in fact, maybe in the next checkpoint I'll actually put an image. If you're not sure how to do that, make sure you watch the basics of HTML video. But it's really simple. All you have to do is search it online and then drag and drop here after you save it. Okay, now, yeah, that's why we use the hashtag. It's like a placeholder. And make sure you do have images. Don't just have a website filled with text, because that's kind of boring. Now, this final thing, this might be confusing. What is all this text? This is called placeholder text. It's professionally what is used to fill in text that is going to be filled in later by you guys, of course, if you decide to copy paste this. And yeah, it's also very important that your content is good. Don't just think that I'm going to design this website and then get it over with. It's very important to have interesting, readable content. Don't write a ton. Don't write like 4 paragraphs, because no one's going to read 4 paragraphs about what you like. Maybe 2 to 3 sentences, and maybe like talk about the strong points of the game that really hooked you into it. Like in my example, I mean, you're probably doing books or something else. Like, let's use the example of books. Let's say my third favorite is Harry Potter. Talk about what in Harry Potter hooks you in, why you like it so much. And that, of course, comes with English experience. Yes, I know we're talking about school again, but it's pretty fun actually coming up with your own content. Yeah, that's a bit of a digression. Now make sure you understand all of this right now. And then I'm going to basically copy paste this 3 times. And then the next checkpoint will be covering all the CSS, all the styling that we're going to do to make our website look really nice. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at the CSS of our website. And as you can see already, I added an image right here. It looks kind of big, but if you open it full screen, and sometimes HTML will act up like this, like it'll look kind of weird, like this, and that's because like the width of our screen is really small. So if you open it to a new tab, you'll get something like this, and it looks kind of nice, right? I mean, there could be a few things fixed. Maybe like the width is too big, the image is kind of bad. There's a lot of things that could be changed, but that's up to you. Now, what are some things that you notice before we look into the code? It's very important that you can first notice some things that are different so that you can connect them to the CSS that's actually different. Well, first of all, an obvious difference is that this width right here, right? Well, actually, that might not be the most obvious difference. The most obvious difference is the text align center, which I assume most of you know. All of the text is aligned to the center. This is also underlined, right? We have our image. Yeah, and the background is gray. Wow, there are a lot of obvious changes actually. So a lot of these things you probably know how to do. Some things might be a bit new. Let's look into it. Okay. So this thing is just saying, oh, you can comment using this, right? I'm not gonna make you comment on your code, but if you're gonna be working with someone, it's important to know how to comment, and I'm gonna be doing a lesson on that actually in the workshops itself. So if you're interested, you can come and join our workshops, but I still recommend you do, even if you're not interested, because you have tutors to help you there right away. Okay. Now let's look at our body selector. Now, what is the body? The body is the entirety of this website, right? The entire background color is gray, and remember, you can change stuff like this, right? I'm just gonna keep it gray like I did before. And another important thing is I changed the opacity so that it's not like dark, just so you can just play around with it. I'm pretty sure you've played around with colors before, right? It's pretty fun. I'm not gonna ruin your fun by giving you the most optimal combination. I'm no CSS expert. I just know the stuff. Okay, we have our text align center. We'll come back to these two later. Okay, H1, this is optional, of course. Text decoration underline. You could even change the color. Remember, you can use something like color red. I mean, probably looks kind of ugly now. Yeah, but you can be as fancy as you want with it. And then this image right here, believe it or not, if we took this out, the image would look kind of fat. Yes, I'm calling an image fat. I have no other word for it right now, but if you look at it, it's pretty big. It's a bit too big, in fact. So that's why I scaled down the image a bit. I recommend images around 480 by 360 pixels, but you can do whichever images you want. Just make sure that the width and the height corresponds correctly, because if you do something like maybe to like 300, I think it'll be a bit too stretched out. It's already yes. Oh, I did 3000 pixels. Oh god, that looked horrible. Yeah, it's a bit too stretched out, so I'm gonna stick with 240 pixels. And now this part, this is basically saying the width of our entire website is going to be squished down to 60%. If we did not have this, if you made this 100%, I don't know why I have two open. If you made this 100%, which is what it is already, our text looks something like this. It's too wide compared to the rest of our screen, right? And it just doesn't look appealing. Like, no one wants to read right to left. They want to read up to down. That's just how it is. So that's why we made the width 60%. And in fact, I want to make my width even like smaller, like 50%. Let's see how that looks. Yes, that looks a bit more readable. I mean, you can't read Latin. This is Latin, but the text itself, if it was actually text, would be way easier to read. You can do a lot of things with it. Change the font size, change the line spacing. You can search that up. Right now, it's still a bit too hard to read, in my opinion. Like, especially for people without glasses. I'm not wearing my glasses right now. So yeah, that's up to you. Remember, I'm not going to give you the answers to everything. I'm just giving you a foundation upon which you can build. And finally, this margin auto, don't worry about it. If you didn't have it, you can see, like, if you don't know what things do, erase it and see what happens. Yeah, let me delete that entire thing actually. As you can see, it gets put here. I'm just basically keeping margins on the left and right sides. I'm keeping them equal so that they're all centered. That's basically what it is. And yeah, I kind of lied when I said there's 3 checkpoints. There's only 2. This is your last checkpoint. After this, just keep on building off of it. Change the colors, change the images, add more. I've only had 1, right? Copy paste the first topic right here. Just copy paste it, change the content. And yeah, I'd love to see some of your top 3 favorite whatever. Okay, and that's the end of this video. Stay tuned for more projects and more skill lessons. Bye.